Hello, I am just sorting a few things out. I really hope you are well. So, let's, goodness me, I have no idea whether I'm going to be here on my own or whether I'm going to be joined by a few people. I do hope so, because that would be fun. That would be great fun. Whether I'm going to be here on my own or whether I'm... So, let's just wait for a few people to pop in. Say hello in the chat. That would be really nice. I'm also going to have the Facebook page open, so if you want to post something on there, that would be really nice as well. But huge welcome. Even if there is just a few of us, it would be really nice on this Friday afternoon in the UK here in Dorset, and the sun is shining. So let's start with a bit of a hello and a weather update. Gotta have a weather update, haven't we? We really have. Hello, Nicola. So lovely. Hello, Lynn. Oh, this is really nice. I did think it was just going to be me and Amelie, but it's lovely to have all you wonderful people come and join me on this glorious Friday. And I really do hope you are well. This whole session is for you. We don't give ourselves enough time, do we, to just stop and create. And so my idea is that we would have this hour together and we can just play, we can have a bit of a chat, we can post stuff onto the Facebook group if you want to, what you're doing, and just give ourselves time to create. I am going to be doing some watercolour doodles. I decided I wasn't going to do anything too complicated because I want to make sure that everything is working, and it clearly isn't. So I've just gone a bit squiffy on my phone. So that was quite funny. Let me just see if I can organise that a little bit better. Forgive me for this. Sorry about this. I am going to wiggle you around because I need to change this just for a moment. This is the problem, isn't it, when we oh gosh, that's terrible, isn't it? Right, let's start again. Oh my goodness me. I'm just going to rig up another... Oh, I can't even do that now. That's better. Let's do this. So apologies for that. That was oh, and I'm putting a hand across there. This is right. That's a bit better, isn't it? Hello from Manchester. Hello. What's the weather like? What's the weather like in Manchester? That would be good. Let's just have that. Georgia. Ah, I'm getting lots of summer is arriving early. So that's jolly good. Well, I think it's good. Is that good? Maybe it's good. Let's get going. As people come in, we can just say hello, can't we? It'd be really nice. Amelie, I am so glad you're here. I did think it might just be you and me, and that would have been great, wouldn't it? But we have lovely people. So I've put these two pieces here. I will just kind of move them in. These are watercolours with added ink, pencil, and a bit of acrylic. And they're pieces that I created for a show about 2 years ago now. And I did a load for demonstrations and things like that. And what I like about it is that you can just develop it as you go. You don't have to think about it too much, which I always feel is quite a good thing. I think too much time is spent just thinking about where we're going to place that mark. And I know that lots of you, because you've told me, get stuck. So I'm going to be working on watercolour paper, but you use whatever you want, and you don't have to do anything that I'm doing. You can just take this time to do your own thing. That's absolutely fine. We can work with that. I'm just going to pull this down just a little bit, and I hope it doesn't go wobbly again. If it goes all wobbly again, then just forgive me, because my other stand has decided to just do its own thing. So that might work. That's okay. This is working. I've got some paints. These are my Anna Linky paints, and these are my Paul Rubens. I have got links to all of the paints that I use, and I will put that in the description. But what we're going to do is just put there. Hello, Ali from Cryche. Is that Cryche in Derbyshire? Because I know Cryche in Derbyshire because I have friends who live there. So that's rather lovely, isn't it? And miserable Manchester. I'm sure it's not miserable. I'm sure it's not. I'm sure that you are bringing some joy into Manchester. And we've got Andrea from Scotland and Claire from Reading. Brilliant. So we've got lots of UK people, which is what I did expect, seeing as this is, let me laying over here, this is 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So anyway, we are going to start. I've got some water spray, and I've got a pot of water and some soft brushes. I'm going to start. I will switch the camera round every now and again. Just going to spray onto the water. We can get delightfully mucky with this. Think about what colours you want to use. And we're just going to put in, I love this. I love the way the water interacts with the paint. Now, I did a class this morning. I did my usual Friday morning class in Axminster in Devon, which is the other side of the border, because I live in Dorset, but I live right on the Dorset-Devon border. So we've got a few more weather updates. Yes, cloudy in Manchester. we had tons of rain yesterday, which was good because we hadn't had rain for weeks. So we're all moaning, obviously. So I'm just now going to leave that. I'm going to leave it to dry. It won't take that long to dry because it is actually quite warm. And so I'm going to do another one. And then I'm going to show you one that I did earlier, obviously. And we can have a play with that. You don't have to put water on the page first. You can put some paint first and then give it a squirt. How lovely is that? So the joy of making a mess in art and design, which is very much what we did this morning, actually, in the group, which was so nice. We meet in a waffle house. Oh, yes. That does amazing coffee and amazing waffles. And sometimes we don't do very much art at all. We just drink coffee and eat waffles. I'm just going to move my keyboard because that is going to be dangerous. Right, let's... can you see what I'm doing there? I'm just flopping it about. Okay, I'm just going to be reading some of these. Georgia is in Ohio. Fantastic. The heat's not too bad. We're going to start watering the veggies. Good idea. Yes. Always lovely to have a bit of a gardening update as well. I'm just going to add a bit of green to this. Just so lovely. So feel free to comment on other people's messages, because I'm probably going to miss a few of you, so forgive me for that. I've got a bit of tissue here, and what we can do is just take off some of the paint if you want to. So this Anna Linky paint is really vibrant. It's a vibrant watercolour, and I love it, and it's very inexpensive. So I've used it for years. I used it when I worked in schools, and in the college as well. And it's really nice. I'm going to leave that one to dry. Okay, so this one I did about 20 minutes ago, so it's completely dry. And what I'm going to do is to get, excuse me, I was going to get a pen. I've got a whole series of pens, just an ordinary biro ballpoint pen. Nothing fancy. But I've got some ink pens as well. And you have to excuse me coughing. I've just had this cold. Very annoying. Very, very annoying. Georgia, yeah, I know, waffles. What is not to like about a waffle? Just amazing. So who we got? Oh, Carol Ann here. Oh, Carol, we're still in miserable Manchester. So we've got a couple of people from Manchester. So that's nice, isn't it? We're sort of spreading out to the Midlands, which is great. I tell you, I'm just going to move. Oh, here we go. I'm just going to move here a minute because I need to have a chat with you. Since I've been doing this channel, I've had so many people from all over the world. It's just been quite extraordinary and so lovely. And my knowledge, my geography has improved, which is good. And I'm now a little bit of an expert on the weather in different parts of the world. So that's jolly nice as well, isn't it? So, and I do apologise for this camera wobbling about. I did think I'd got it all sorted out. I clearly haven't. Anyway, if you are drawing and doodling along and you'd like to take a photo of what you're doing and post it on to the Facebook group, that would be great. That would be really, really good. So I've got this one, which is dry, and I'm going to be doing some marks and some doodles. It's going to show you this one. So I did this in a tutorial last week or the week before. Oh, time is flying, isn't it? It just flies. And if you could kind of go in quite close, you can see slightly organic, sort of organic inspired. So that's kind of what we're going to do. And obviously, you do whatever you want. I'm just going to pop on to the Facebook group now, in case any of you have added to it. Don't feel that you have to, by the way. Oh my goodness, no. If you just want to get on and carry on and do your doodling and listen to me waffling on, you carry on and do that. That would be really good. Okay, let me just see if I can now adjust this camera. We're going to move it down and hope it doesn't just flop everywhere, which I think it might do. Let me just do that. Perhaps I will get something to lean on. I will think about that in a moment. Anyway, what I'm going to do is something that I did this morning in the art group, because a lot of the people there were saying that they were really struggling to just let go. And I know that some of you are struggling with that because you've told me. And this is where the scribbling just is so good. So I am going to just do a scribble. I'm going to do a scribble and then I'll lift it up and show you. Little scribble, see, easy peasy. So let's just do another one. But please join in with the comments and forgive me if I don't reply to you straight away. Now, I know that Amelie is... Have you moved house yet? Is that happening? Because that was causing a lot of stress, wasn't it? And so I do hope that it's going to be all okay. Oh, you have moved. Brilliant. Whoa. So, right, let me just... So I've just done another little doodle there. Again, it's kind of flowerish, that kind of thing. And maybe you can be inspired by the natural world around you. You could be inspired by the weather. You could be inspired by anything, really. For those of you who like to do art journaling, you could leave space to write poetry, something like that. That would be very nice. Or you could just doodle, because that really is one of the things that I personally enjoy hugely is to just let my mind let my mind drift a little bit. I've just done a few more on more like that, which I quite like. You can put the pen on to the wet paint, but personally I want to create quite defined marks on this one, and in order to do that, then the paper needs to be relatively dry. However, see this little flower here? You can go into that flower, which I'm going to do with some blue and some purple, and you can paint into it. So we can do this in multiple stages, and I think when we do this, our work can become really quite exciting, because you've kind of planned it, or you've planned it a little bit, but then you are using the paint blobs, and you are using what the marks that are on the paper to just sort of help you. So I've just done like a little cornflower. It's a little bit too early for cornflowers. The meadow opposite my house is full of all sorts of yellow flowers at the moment. Dandelions and buttercups and all sorts of things. Broom and a little bit of gorse on the edges. But you can see that we can be really loose in what we're doing. It's just so lovely. Oh, Nicola is in Farnborough in Hampshire. Fantastic. I like Farnborough. I have friends who live in Yateley. So we go up to Hampshire quite frequently. Just pop up the A303. Anyone who travels to the West Country from London will know the A303. So that's that one. Let's go back to one that I did a moment ago. I'm just going to leave that other one to dry. And before I do any biro on this, I'm going to add a little bit of the metallics. If you have not used metallic paint before, it's just fantastic, but you have to use it in the right way. I think a lot of people will buy these gorgeous metallics and then not know what to do with them, or put them onto white paper and it doesn't really work. You have to have a background. You have to have a background first, and you have to activate the paint with some water and really activate it. So this is this kind of silvery colour, and then you can put it over the top of another colour. And I'm just going to do marks on this, but you can do blocks. I did a whole thing on using metallics way back, probably December, because I think I was looking at Christmas. But you can combine it with the watercolours and you get some really nice effects. Like that. It's all very pretty and gloriously messy, which is what we're doing. Let's leave that one to dry. Go back to the other one, this one, and we're going to go in there. So Beth is apologising because she was stuck in traffic. I can relate to that, Beth. I can relate to it. So I am so pleased you're here. We've just had a weather update, so you could give us a weather update, Beth, on what it was like when you were stuck in the traffic. Oh, yeah, metallics, you see, everyone uses them wrong. I tell you what's best, actually, and I will do that in a moment, is when you use the warm colours. Metallics on the orange and reds, oh, so good. So good. Brilliant. That's Beth in Wimbledon. Lovely. Southwest London. Fantastic. Tennis will be starting soon. And then Wimbledon turns into a kind of a great big party, doesn't it? But this is great. Let's add, actually, seeing as we've just been talking about metallics, let's add a bit of gold to the green. Gold on green works very, very well. So I'm just mixing a little bit of gold the lovely thing about this kind of live thing is it's a little bit spontaneous. So, and if you've got a question, then please feel free to pop it in, and either I'll answer it or somebody else will answer it. Or if you'd like me to do a tutorial in the future of something that I haven't done yet, or revisit something that I did last year that you think actually I'd like to do more of that, then let me know. Always love hearing from you. And I have been a little bit blown away. I'm just going to have a slurp of tea. I'm going to lean over and say hello. I'm just going to have some tea. Absolutely blown away by the friendship and the companionship that is forming on the Facebook group in particular. It's just amazing. But also on the YouTube channel, the comments I get, oh well, just wonderful. When I started the channel, which was last year, in March last year, my daughter was a little bit concerned. She was worried that I might get lots of sort of negative comments and people being mean and nasty and things like that, and which was very sweet of her, very, very sweet. And I did remind her that I had been a school teacher for 20 years in kind of inner city schools. So she said, yeah, okay. But I can absolutely say that every comment I get on YouTube has just been wonderful. So the other thing we can do is do some blobs. We did this morning. We did lots of sort of scattered pieces, which was great fun. It really was good. We did have to move our teas and our coffees and our waffles though, because that would have been quite interesting, wouldn't it? Right, I'm going to go back to this one, leave that one to dry. And I'm going to go into my, into this with the biro. I'll just do it here. I hope you can kind of see what I'm doing. Let's move it nearer that way. Perhaps that would be better. But again, I really want to encourage you to just do your own thing. And I know I say this quite a lot, and I think it's because this is my way of teaching. I teach people methods and techniques, and then I encourage you to do your own thing. So I'm just sort of doing a bit of a doodle on top of this one in the black with the black ballpoint pen, and I'm just doing a bit of a scribble. So I'd love to know if you are actually joining in or whether you're just sitting there with a cup of tea. Whether you are doing your own thing or whether you are playing with some watercolour paints. Just sort of let me know. That would be nice. Oh, now we'll pick up on... So Beth is asking whether the metallic watercolour paints go over the acrylic. Yes, they do. Oh, yes. And because acrylic paint will dry very, very quickly, you can use them. But yes, it works very well. I think what I might do is see if I can find some of my sketchbooks where I was doing some experiments with metallics. That will be back in the December one. So I've just done a few more on this one. With the biro, you can then add paint because it won't run. But sometimes it's quite nice to have something that runs. So this one, if you see this bit down here, that's because this pen was the fountain pen. And the ink isn't fast, and it will be water soluble. So I can show you that. So I've got my pen here. This is my Lamy pen, which I really love, and I'm using Moon Dust Diamine inks, which again I really like. So if you turn it over, you can see the silver, so you have to give it a shake, and then all the silver bits go into the ink. Oh my goodness, it's amazing. It really is. So who was saying it was too wet? Nicola. One of my pages is too wet. It was a bit heavy-handed with the water. That's fine. Just drop some paint into it and let the paint just flow through the water. I love that. I love the fact that you're just doing it, really. So I'm doing a scribble with my ink, with the ink pen, and then it will, can you see, it will just all dissolve, and that's quite nice. Just gives a different effect. So it's all of these things, it's not that one is better than the other, and it's not that one is right and one is wrong. It's whatever you want, really, whatever you want to do. So who, oh, we've got a few more people. We've got Claire with tea. Yes, I need to drink my tea, otherwise it's going to get cold, and I haven't actually dunked my paintbrush in my tea yet. So anyway, so Andrea, do you ever use pastels? I do. I used pastels in the tutorial. Now, was that one that I did this morning? I used a bit of pastels there to create a landscape. Very, very cheap chalks and pastels. Are you talking about chalk pastels or oil pastels? Oil pastels are not my favourite medium. Other artists and other YouTube teachers have done some absolutely glorious tutorials on those. It's not really my thing, but I do like chalk pastels, and I like charcoal. Very messy. I get very, very messy. Hello, Margot from Pennsylvania. Margot, I think you were one of the first people ever to watch my YouTube channel. I think you were. There's a few. Claire, you were one of the first as well. It's just been, well, just so lovely. I feel like I've made a whole load of new friends, which is just great. So yeah, so I mean, I will do an oil pastel tutorial as part of something else. So I'm not a huge fan of oil pastels, but I know that some people are, and they do glorious things. I'm just going to take some more paint. I'm going to put it onto there. See how intense this paint is. It's quite amazing. I love it. So I'm just going to do that, and I'm just going to now drop some water onto it and let it bleed. But if you feel that it's too much, then just get your tissue and just blot it. See, you blot it and it just will take it there. So let's see what else we can do with this one. I'm actually going to get the tissue, do a bit more on that. So there's a few things I wanted to catch up on various people's activity, and obviously we've spoken a little bit about Amelie moving to her new home, which is just fantastic. And oh, Margot, you're talking about your own doodle club, which is at the shelter across your street. Oh my goodness, on the Facebook group, what you were showing us, absolutely amazing. Just what a fantastic thing to do. That's so good. So tell us, you know, how many people turn up, and what do you do, and what do they do, and tell us a little bit more about that. That would be great. Let me just, and yeah, if anybody else goes to other art classes or runs art classes and things like that in your own local area, let me know about those. And I'd also love to hear from those of you who used to do art and haven't done anything for ages and now have started again. And for those of you who've never done anything and who are absolutely new, and I feel a little bit anxious about diving in because there is a few of you, and it's just so wonderful. Would just so wonderful. Andrea, yes, it would. It'd be absolutely amazing. Perhaps we should have, what do they call them? A convention. We could have a convention, couldn't we? That would just be very funny. Oh, I love that, Margot. Yeah, lots of people. Very rowdy. Fantastic. That's none of this peace and quiet stuff. So I can do a few more bits on that. I thought actually I might add a bit of white. Now, white acrylic. Some white acrylic pens, I would actually say most white acrylic pens, are a little bit rubbish. This one is amazing. It's called Doodles, and it's not the most expensive by any means, but it gives such good coverage once you kind of warm it up. I'll show you in a minute. I just wanted to do some marks. So if I hold that up, you can see the white. With some white acrylic markers, it fades too quickly and it just doesn't come out very well. And it's a little bit frustrating. So it is nice. I will put a link to everything I use, but you just ignore that. You don't have to do that. You can do whatever you want. Let's have a look. Branch, yes, you are. You're my branch campus. It's fantastic, isn't it? So I think. Oh gosh, I'm just having a bit of fun with some white there, and again, this I'm going to build up, and I'm going to do a little bit more on this one, which I think would be really nice. Yay, Melissa, you're in. Fantastic. So good to have you here. We've been having a weather update, a traffic update. We're just sharing all sorts of lovely stuff. So feel free to tell us where you are and what the weather's doing. It is so lovely. Lovely to have you here. I think I would absolutely love to meet some of you in person. That would just be so lovely. And I do think that I want to do something in the UK. And obviously there will never be the perfect place, but I think that would be really nice. Perhaps we could have a day and we could have some lovely things to eat and put the world to rights. I think we could all do that. I'm just going to put in some lines on this one. Okay, so we have storms. Stormy in southern Illinois. Well, we've got sunshine and clouds here in southwest England, in Dorset. So have I got anybody else from southwest England? Anyone from Somerset or Devon or Cornwall? That'd be nice, because we could meet up. I had a call there's just before coming live, and it was really interesting because it was a lady who runs a wellbeing session in Cornwall, and she was looking for people to run workshops. So we had a really nice chat. So I'm going to be doing that in Bodmin Old Library, which is an absolutely beautiful bit of Cornwall and not too far away. There we go. So we got hot and humid in Pennsylvania. Whoa. Yes, Claire, it would, wouldn't it? It would be really good, just all getting together, and I can imagine what it would be like. We'd all kind of like wander into the centre, all looking a little bit lost, wondering who people are. But it would be really nice. So this one I'm actually really liking, and I'm going to do another flower. I'm going to take that with my biro. I'm just going to hop over on to the Facebook page. So if you'd like to post what you're doing onto the Facebook group after this, that would be really good. So we've got a few coming on here. Yay, fantastic. Do like a messy attempt. Fantastic. Thank you, Claire. Thank you, Ali. Absolutely wonderful. I do love the Facebook group. If you haven't joined it yet and you want to, then I'll put the link in the description of the replay, and you can come and join us, because it's just so nice. Now I've lost my train of thought, as I knew I would, but that's okay, isn't it? Doesn't matter. Can you see what's happened with the gold? I don't know whether you can see that, but it's really nice. So it's got a very nice effect. So what else was I going to talk about? Quiet Path. I was going to talk about Quiet Path. Thank you for those of you who are doing the course, walking the Quiet Path. I think I've got 1 to 11 on for everybody. If you're a member, you're going to get all of them first, but I am going to release the whole lot. So Quiet Path is just the course that goes with the book, and I know that a few of you have got the book as well, so that's really nice. Your feedback, as always, really, really valuable. So thank you for that. Let's just catch up with some of the comments. So who we've got here? Nicola, yes. Nepalese lady pensioners. That sounds amazing. I used to work at inner city school, and we had a big Nepalese group of students, and the girls in particular I worked with, so wonderfully creative and beautiful dancers. So as some of you know, I also dance, and yeah, Nepalese ballet is amazing. What do you mean you're not good at flowers, Lynn? Rubbish. Of course you are. Hello from Cyprus, Daniela. Thank you. And Lynn, cloudy in Lancashire. Okay. She'll blow some sunshine up to you. The thing with flowers is, and I did this morning, which was quite interesting, actually, talking about it now. Let's do a bit of an experiment. I'm going to change colours. I'm going to go into yellows. Let's just get my paint. I'm going to give my paint a bit of a squirt. Soft brush. I'm going to go in with sort of yellows and orange. Let's, I'm going to do some blobs. I don't know if any of you watched the tutorial way back in October, where we did pumpkins. The pumpkins all started off as blobs. I did it with my little ones. I have a class of little ones on a Friday afternoon once a month, and the youngest is 4. And oh dear, they are just wonderful. They are so funny and so sweet, and we did some lovely blobs. Oh, excuse me, this cough is getting on my nerves now. Right, blobs. I'm going to leave those to dry for a little bit, and then we're going to come back, Lynn, and do some flowers. So let's just get another piece. This is why I like all of my students, and like I said to you in the YouTube tutorial last week, I think of you as my students, and so that's what you are. You are all art students, which is lovely. Let's let's just do some squiggles. Just putting the paint directly on. Spray it. Move it about. Let that bleed through. You will notice I haven't used any bright pink yet. And that is because it's almost impossible to get a really good bright fluorescent pink in watercolours. It just doesn't work. So I might have to go in, like I have on this one, with an acrylic pen. Because I do like a pink. I'm going to leave that to move around a little bit. And while the orange blobs are drying, I'm going to go back to this one. Go into my biro. So thank you so much for taking time to comment and post your things on the Facebook group. It's really lovely because sometimes I feel that I'm here all by myself. That's lovely. Lovely, Ali. Loving that. Beautiful. Right, okay. I'm on this one now. Let's some sweeping lines. I'm going to be brave. Don't worry about getting things wrong. I think that sometimes the stuff we learnt when we were children, perhaps people said mean things to us. Unfortunately, I've heard so many stories where the art teacher said something unkind and mean, and it breaks my heart. I think I mentioned before my lovely mum, who is an amazingly creative person, was told that her art was rubbish by a school teacher, and so she never picked up a brush again, which I just think is so sad. I don't know whether you can see that. I've just put some marks on a kind of vaguely leaf shape, keeping this idea of kind of an organic shape, but it might not stay that way. I'm just sort of building up some marks. When we make marks, I'm going to just show you this one on the page, we can get some really interesting effects. So this one obviously just sort of scribbles, but this one sort of dashes, gives another effect, and dots and lines will just create different types of patterns within a shape, and that can be really interesting and really exciting. And again, with both of these, actually, I then used the shapes to write words, and I've also got blobs of silver as well. I'm not sure whether you can see those, but they're all good fun to do. This one was more inspired by the sea, and so I've got my splash, and I wanted to have this idea of flow, which I really did enjoy that. But these sorts of lines kind of then turns into a bit of a landscape, which I hadn't thought of doing that at the beginning. So I've just put in a line. I'm just going to show you. Let's bring that there. So I've just done this line here, so it looks like it's behind. And then I'm going to just put some little dashes across there. But you could do circles. Let's see what happens when you put circles in. You can just play. Oh my goodness. I can't tell you how important it is to allow yourself to play. Let's see. So we've got any more comments here? No, we've got some people chatting. So that's really nice. How lovely. So let's. I'd love to know what you're doing, whether you are just sitting there, not doing anything at all, or whether you are just doing your own thing, giving yourself this time. It's so very important that we just allow ourselves in a way, because that can it's one of the things that we were talking about this morning actually, is getting distracted and not giving ourselves time to do the things that we really want to do. And I think that's really sad. I'm going to go in with this one and do a little bit of detail, just a little bit more. I'm going to pick up some of the colours that I've used before, slightly more intense, and go over. Because I'm using watercolours, it will interact with the colour underneath. If you're doing this with acrylic, you can just paint over the top. It won't have any effect at all with the colour you've put underneath, unless you're painting over the top with yellow. But you see, I'm just sort of building up this flower. It didn't start off as a flower, but I've decided it's a flower. And you can just build up the different just make it a little bit more intense. Oh, we've got someone from upstate New York. Lovely. What is the weather like in upstate New York? Let's. It's always good to have a weather update. There we go. I'm just going to add a little bit more into that one at the bottom as well, and that contrast between the paler colours and then the more intense one can just be really, really interesting. It's just yeah, it's just lovely, so lovely. So we've got 22 of us in this group. How lovely is that? It's just so nice, so nice. Just going to add a little bit more onto that one. And then I'm going to tell you a little bit about what's coming up, because I've been planning my June tutorials. Last year we did a June challenge, so I'm going to do something similar. I've had a few people ask me about creative writing, because I also do creative writing workshops, and obviously I've written a few books on developing your creative writing, so I'm going to do a little bit of that. But again, what I want to emphasize is you giving yourself time to be creative in whatever medium works for you. So that could be your knitting or your embroidery, it could be your gardening or your cooking. There's just so many ways to be creative. I'm just going to do this edge here with the turquoisey paint. I'm just going to layer that in a little bit like that. Then I'm taking the paint off the brush, and then I'm just going to blend that in so it goes all watery. So it's quite intense at the edge, and then it comes down. So I am going to be putting out a bit of a poll. I'm going to do a poll
on YouTube and on the Facebook group, just to find out what sort of things people want. Because I love doing challenges. I love doing the prompts. You know, those sorts of things I really do enjoy doing, and I like the feedback I get from you on those, that it has kind of perhaps taken you in a different direction. You see what's happened there? I really like that, as it's starting to mingle with some of the ink, but it won't on this bit because this bit's Biro. Like that. But that, Andrea, am I still singing? Yes, I am. Thank you so much for asking. So I sing with an a cappella group called Academics, and that's just lovely. And that's why I go back to Hampshire, because we rehearse in Basingstoke and Yateley, and that's just lovely. It's a contemporary a cappella group, and then I sing in a chamber choir. So I do a bit of both, and I also sing occasionally in the church choir, and that's really nice as well. So yes, lots of singing and dancing and painting and drawing and writing. That's kind of my thing. Rubbish at everything else. So thank you for asking. That's very, very sweet of you. So can you see what I'm doing with this one? I've just sort of started to build up with a little bit more detail, and I'm going to do something on this side now as well. So we've got about 10 minutes left. So if you have a burning question, then please ask it. Or if you just want to make a comment, just make a comment and tell us what you're doing. I've got in my head this idea of a convention now, and of us all meeting up. I'm not quite sure where we would go. One of the things that again, I was having a chat with my daughter about, because she was saying, oh, you know, if you looked at all your YouTube analytics, and you know, when is the best time to post a video, and you know, when are your audience watching? And I laughed because I said, to be honest, I've got people watching from all over the world, and I've got people watching from Australia and New Zealand and South Africa and India and Canada and the States and all across Europe. So it doesn't really matter. People will tune in when they can. And I know I've had some lovely messages from our friends in New Zealand and Australia who aren't tuning in with us because it's the middle of the night. So we forgive them for that. But they have promised that they're going to catch up on the replay. So, Andrea, yes, when we get together, we can have a sing. How glorious would that be? That would just be so good. Margot, I have been thinking about putting together a Zoom where we could join in. I will certainly have a think about that and work out all of the logistics of it and how we might work that. And so other Margot is watching from the hairdressers. That is just brilliant. I'm absolutely loving that. That is so funny. That's like, so where are you? Where are you at the hairdressers? This is making me laugh. Well, obviously we now need to see what you're having done. So you'll need to post that on the Facebook group. I just added some more green on this bit here. That's oh goodness me, I do love this group. Feel free to just turn your work upside down and work at it from a different angle. You will see things in a different way, and that can be very interesting, especially if you're doing abstract. When I was teaching A-level and diploma, I would frequently get my students to hold up their work
to the class and then say, right, now turn it upside down or turn it sideways. And frequently they would get feedback from the class saying, oh, that's really interesting. I think I prefer it that way round. I love that. I did enjoy teaching young people very much. I was head of art and design at college in Guildford in Surrey, and working with young people who were sort of 16, 17, 18, 19, absolutely brilliant. It was so good. So good. Right, so how are we doing for time? So that's where I am at the moment. I'm just kind of wiggling my way round. Now let's go back to my flower blobs. So Lynn, are you still with us? Or have you sneaked off? I'm going to use a biro again. Let's move that. I'm just going to pop that there up this end. And we're going to go in and just do some very loose petals, as if these are those lovely poppies, maybe. That kind of flower. And you can see that I've gone over the edges of the paint. The blob is the starting point, and it might be that we go in with a lot more detail with paint, but this is our next stage. See, so I've just picked up the shape, and I like to start doodles with a blob, and then you can turn the blob into whatever you want, which is what I did in the tutorial with the pumpkins and the Christmas trees and things like that, and just the other trees. I'm just wondering whether I've got, let me just see if I can find it. It might be at hand, it might not be. Oh no, but that's the forest one. That wasn't the one I was thinking of. I will show it next time. But when you kind of give yourself this time to play, you can free up your technique. So I'm just put in a bit of stems. Obviously you can actually have some flowers in front of you and be inspired by your own natural landscape, which I think is really nice. It's a really nice thing to do. I was going to use some colouring pencils, but I'm not now. I'm not going to do that, but I'm going to use this gold. So let's just give that a bit of a squirt. There's a sort of a gold and there's a copper. I can't remember which one is better actually. But then you can go over the top of the colours, and when it dries you'll get that shimmer. It's really nice. Oh, excuse me. And these can be then cut out and put into your journal. So my journal that I've been working on over the last few months, where I just put in loads of writing and stuff like that. So I just put in my little flowers there. I've just started to do a landscape flowers, and then I've just got all sorts of things in here. My little trees as well. I like making my own elements. I think that just makes it much more personal. So, yeah, Monty and Amber, they are both asleep. So Monty and Amber, for those of you who don't know, are my cats. And I do have to keep them out of my studio most of the time, especially Monty, because he has a tendency to just walk over everything. Just crazy. Crazy. Nicola has just had a cup of tea brought in by her daughter Amber. So that's really nice. Yeah, that would be great if my cat Amber could make me a cup of tea. That would be fantastic. No, they are very elderly. So my cats will be 17 years old next month. And we've had them since they were kittens, and they're absolutely adorable. But they are very old now. Amber still thinks she's a kitten. Monty has definitely gone into old man mode, and so he does a lot of sleeping. And what they do, because we've got this meadow opposite the house, and so we get a lot of birds, and but neither of the cats want to hunt anymore, and so they just look out the window at the birds. It's very funny. Yeah, they are just very lovely, but they do have to stay out of the studio. I was going to do that one, so I've put a bit of gold on there. Let's just finish off in the last couple of minutes. Is he named after Monty Don? No, he's not. His full name is Montgomery, and so it's very posh. He's a Montgomery cat. I'm just going to put in a few. But it was funny when we got them, because my children the girls were quite young when we got the cats. Obviously they were grown up now, and we decided to have 2 cats. And so then we had a holiday in Cornwall, actually, and we spent the whole holiday thinking about what we would call the cats. It was very, very funny. And we knew that one of them was going to be a ginger cat. So Amber is a ginger cat. And it was Alice, my stepdaughter, the youngest in our family, who came up with the name Amber, which is a very good name, I think, for a ginger cat. But Thomas, who's my third son, he wanted to call the boy cat Dave. So that was quite funny. Or Boris. But then my middle son said Monty, and we decided we would go with Monty. Anyway, thank you so much. I'm just going to move up this way so that I am talking to you. Thank you so much for joining me. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you. And I'd love to know what you've done in this last hour, making sure that you have given yourself time to create. I'd love to see that. Pop it onto the Facebook group. Leave another comment. This will be replay. If you haven't liked yet, that would be really nice. Thank you for that. And if you're joining in and you haven't subscribed yet, that would be very nice as well. Thank you so much to all of you. I am overwhelmed with all the love. And now I'm thinking that we need to have a convention, and when we need to be doing some singing, and I'll get you all dancing, and how glorious would that be? So thank you so much. Lovely, lovely people, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye. I know, it's been an hour. And yeah, time just goes. Nicola, it doesn't matter if it's a bit of a mess. Absolutely fine. You take care, all of you.